Knowing how to open existing projects is important, but knowing how to create your own project is equally important. So in this movie, I'd like to look at the ways that we can create a new Revit project. So I'm looking at the Recent Files screen, which will greet me when I first launch Revit. And up here in the projects location, we have an open link, which we used in the previous few movies. And right beneath that, we have a new link. Now, beneath that, we also have several predefined items. There's a construction template, architectural template, structural, and so on. It's possible for you to create a new project from scratch, but that's typically not the recommended approach. What you typically want to do is start a new project from a template. Now, a template file in Revit is pretty similar to a template file in really any piece of software. It's essentially a starting point. That template file contains within it all of the settings and configuration that you would typically want to have at the beginning of any new project. The goal in creating a good template is to think about all of those settings and all of those features you would want any new project to have. And then you can save that as a template. And Revit ships with some basic templates to get us started. So if you wanted to, you could just simply click one of these links and start with one of those templates. So if your discipline is architectural, you could click this architectural template, and it will start you with a basic starting point that's suitable for a pretty simple architectural project. Now, let me just take a quick look around and show you what you get when you start with this architectural template. Over here on the project browser, under Views, you'll see that we've got a few floor plans, a couple ceiling plans, and 4 basic building elevations. So those elevations are actually these little symbols right here on screen. And so we've got a north, south, east, and west. Now, this is a really basic template, and it only has a few settings within it. Some other things that you would find in this template is some standard content. So I'm going to click this component button here on the ribbon, and then open up the list here, and you can see that the content that's included in this basic architectural template is a desk, a parking space, and a tree. Not a whole lot by any stretch. There's a couple support items down here at the bottom. But, some really basic, simple items to get you started. I'm going to click the Modify tool here to cancel. Let's contrast this with one of the other templates that are also available. So I'm going to go to the Big R menu here, highlight New, and then slide over here to Project. I'm going to click on Project, and that's going to open up the New Project dialog. I'll get the same list of built-in templates. There's the construction template, the structural, the mechanical, and there's also this Browse button right here. So I'm going to click on Browse, and all of the templates that are installed with my system will be listed here in this folder. The one that I want to choose here is the Commercial Default. If you're using Revit LT, the name is slightly different, but the template is essentially the same. So I'm going to click Open here to open that Commercial Default, and then OK. And if you look at the project browser this time, you're going to see that there's a few more views here under Floor Plans. We still have the same 4 elevation views. If we scroll down a little further, we've got some schedules, door schedule, window schedule, and so on. And we've got some sheets. Now, a sheet is just simply a title block that has on it the viewport that looks into one of those views up above. So this is a viewport of our reflected ceiling plan, which is this view right here. That's what you see in this viewport right there. So these sheets are already set up. So you can imagine that if your company had a standard title block, that standard title block could already be loaded here in this template so that when you start a new project, you automatically get the standard title block and all the other settings. Now let's just go back to the level 1 floor plan here. Let's click that component button again, and you'll notice here that we've got a few more items this time than we had in the standard architectural template. There's a light fixture here, there's a toilet fixture here, so there's a couple more things. You may prefer to start with one of these templates instead of that standard architectural one, but the choice is really up to you. I'm going to click the Modify tool to cancel. For the project that we're going to build in the next chapter, I'm going to start here with this commercial template just because it has a few more of those items in it. So what I'm going to do is go to my Big R, go to Save. Because I've never named this project, it's going to ask me for a name. I'm going to put it on my desktop and give it a name. So when you want to create a new project in Revit, it's as simple as choosing an appropriate template to base your project on. Once you've got that template opened up, you can save it, give it a name, and then proceed to start adding your building geometry. So in the next chapter, we'll begin adding geometry to this project and building our building model.